Hey guys, so at some point you're going to choose the wrong woman, and then you're going to go through a whole lot of pain and suffering before you eventually break up. Maybe you're already in that situation. Either she'll cheat on you or just leave you with your heart broken. Or it'll get so bad that you have to finally choose to walk away. And because of that experience, you will hesitate even when the right girl does show up. The reality is, none of us is perfect. We all have personality flaws. And none of us were taught how to communicate and ask for our needs to be met in any effective way. So even if she is the most right person for you, sometimes you're going to disagree on things and not be able to communicate in a way that makes either of you feel safe. If you're interested in a relationship, you've got to accept that there's going to be some disagreement and some conflict. And if you've been hurt before, then you might cut and run too soon. Let's look at how to know there are chances and not walk away when it could be the right person for you. So you can definitively answer your question of, is she worth it? Welcome to Just the Tip. Is she worth it? Well, my answer might surprise you. Let's jump right in. If you've watched my videos for a while, then you've heard me say many times, attraction isn't enough. Chemistry isn't enough. Connection isn't enough for a long-term relationship. Sure, those things are great if you're just looking for a hookup or maybe a friends with benefits. But if you're looking for long-term love, it's just not enough. And that's part of why the divorce rate is so dang high. Most people end up finding someone they're attracted to. Maybe they can have a conversation with, they feel connected to, and then they fall in love without actually vetting for what really matters. Now, don't get me wrong, wanting to bump nasties is definitely a good thing. And so is feeling comfortable around her and feeling like she gets you. But you also need compatible values, beliefs, long-term goals. Do you want kids? Do you not want kids? And some lifestyle, along with a little temperament. More on that in a minute. Now, if all those things are in alignment and you're still asking yourself, is she worth it? Then it might be because of one of three things. 1, your baggage, not hers. Okay, now this is the part you're not going to love, but it's tough love because you need to hear it. And if it's not you, then you can eliminate this possibility. But if you are the one with the baggage, and it's because of your baggage that you are actually the one sabotaging the relationship, then the question might not be, is she worth it, but are you ready? Example, your last girlfriend or person you were dating, left you for another guy or cheated on you. And as a result of that, you're thinking that all women cheat and you're paranoid about that. So you look for evidence of that outcome. Maybe your last cheating hoe girlfriend used one of her girlfriends, as a scapegoat and said that she was over at a girlfriend's or out with her girlfriend when really she was out hoeing with Chad. And yes, that sucks. But it also sucks if you are constantly expecting her to cheat and acting as if she is cheating, even when she really hasn't given you any signs. This is your new girlfriend or the new girl you're dating. Maybe you're questioning her whereabouts all the time. Maybe you're being way over attentive just to keep tabs on her all the time. Meanwhile, she knows why you're paranoid and she's trying to accommodate your insecurities around this issue. Maybe she sends you photos of her and her girlfriends out together or sends you pictures of the situation or the event she's at to try and make you feel safe with her being out alone with her friends. But that's not good enough for you because you feel insecure and paranoid because you think all women are going to cheat. So you act passive aggressive or you pout or you make it such that you're punishing her in some emotional way for going out with her friends. It's healthy for a couple to have friends that are their own. It's healthy for couples to do things separately. It gives you a chance to miss each other and to come back to each other with interesting conversation. If you can't do that, you're going to become codependent instead of interdependent. And pretty soon, if your insecurities, your baggage, are getting in the way of your relationship with a healthy woman, an emotionally healthy woman, then she's going to start to feel resentful and smothered. And again, when she tries to talk to you about it, you get pissy, pouty, or passive aggressive. She finally tells you that if something doesn't change, the relationship isn't going to make it. Is she worth it? From what we know so far, yes, she's worth it, but you might not be ready. You might need to work on yourself. And I've got a solution for that coming up. But what if it's the other way around? Number 2, it's her baggage, not yours. As mentioned before, none of us is perfect and we weren't taught how to do relationships. But let's say her baggage is interfering in the relationship. Is she worth it? Again, if you've got compatible values, beliefs, goals, some lifestyle and temperament, more on that coming up, then you've got the foundation for a potentially long-term, happy, satisfying relationship. But if her baggage is sabotaging the relationship, how to know if there are chances and when to walk away rests in this. If she is actively working on fixing her issues, dealing with her baggage, not running away from it, and she's playing as a teammate, she's asking you for help for how she can fix her issues, or at least not blaming you for her issues. And key point, and she's making noticeable progress. Making progress that you can see that is meaningful to you. Progress that actually gives you legitimate, valid hope. Then she might be worth it. Let's look at the same example as before, but let's say she was cheated on by a boyfriend in the past. Whenever you go out with your friends, she texts you a dozen times and is always wondering about your whereabouts. But because you are emotionally healthy and your baggage isn't getting in the way of this situation, then you reassure her because you know why she's paranoid, and you try to talk to her about it. You don't walk right away, you talk right away. In fact, you use the love sandwich approach that I explain in my How to Handle an Angry Woman video. I'll put a link at the end. Now, yes, she has some baggage, but let's say she overreacts or acts out in some way, but she apologizes, she tries to change her behavior, she asks for help in how to change her behavior. Maybe she sees a counselor, and together you find some way to try to help her feel more secure, because really, for whoever it is that is feeling insecure about a certain thing in a situation, it's only going to resolve itself with working on yourself if you have the issue, and time with the other person. Time equals proof. Maybe you even make some concessions, like you agree to text her first thing the next morning, or go over to her place at the end of your evening with your guy friends. Little things to make her feel safe are not simping. You're still going out with your guy friends on your own. You're not conceding to not going out. That would be a sacrifice that's not worth making. But compromise is required in relationships. And because this doesn't get fixed overnight, because it didn't happen overnight, maybe she still acts a little uneasy about it, but she feels a little bit safer with every time and proof that you provide for her that's reasonable. Is she worth it? If she can show this kind of consistent effort with progress, she might be worth it. Continue on. Which brings us to the third way to know that there are chances and not walk away. 3, you're both teammates. You're on each other's team. This isn't you against her or her against you. This is you in it together to win it. As we've established, none of us is perfect. We all have flaws. None of us were taught how to do relationships. So if you have someone who is willing to work with you to do relationships better, even though you're going to stumble along the way, she might be worth it. You have to both have an attitude that it's you two against the world's tribulations. You've got each other's backs, and this doesn't mean agreeing on everything. In fact, sometimes the kindest thing she can do for you is challenge you on your self-limiting beliefs. And there are actually some other signs that she's a true keeper based on her actions. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But first, remember that being good for each other isn't always going to feel good. If you want to have a long-term happy relationship, some of that is going to be uncomfortable, positive growth. Life begins outside your comfort zone. But what do you do if it's your baggage that keeps coming up and you're fighting all the time over every little thing? Your values, beliefs, goals, lifestyle, and temperament, more on that, are in alignment, but you just can't seem to get it together, then you might need to talk to a professional therapist. There is no shame in this. We weren't taught how to do relationships. If you think that's where you're at, then I will put a link to an online therapy company I recommend. And if your values, beliefs, long-term goals, and lifestyle are in alignment, but you're still fighting, it might be your temperament differences. To find out if you have opposite temperamental differences that you can maybe get past, then you want to watch my video on Is Your Relationship Doomed? And as mentioned, if you want to know for sure she's a keeper based on her actions, then you want to watch my video, She's a Keeper If. Thanks for being here. God bless.